Our final story from the book of 1 Kings is found in 1 Kings chapter 21. I encourage you to read the whole story from verses 1 to 29. And this is a story about a man named Naboth and his vineyard, his ancestral land and home that had been in his family for generations. And his right to own that land could not be violated. And the story is a story about King Ahab and Queen Jezebel abusing power and the law, something that we see powerful people all throughout history do all the time. The powerful frequently abuse power, disregard the law to do what they want, to take what they want. And so in chapter 21, Naboth, he's got this vineyard, and it's right beside the palace of King Ahab, and Ahab wants it because it's next door. He wants to expand his property, and Naboth says, nope, the Lord forbid that I should give you my ancestral inheritance. And Ahab went home sullen and resentful, it says in verse 4, because of what Naboth the Jezreelite had said to him, because he said he wouldn't give his land. And so basically he goes down and he won't eat, he's sulking. Now remember, the reason why Omri, who we talked about yesterday, was so bad was because he married Ahab to Jezebel, the daughter of the Phoenician or the Sidonian king. Well, she doesn't give a hoot about Israelite law. She's the queen. He's the king. We can do whatever you want. And she basically says, get up, eat. I'll get you the vineyard. And she has him murdered. She kills Naboth so that they can take the land. And then our verse for the day, which comes at verse 20, after this has been done, and Naboth is dead, then the word of the Lord comes to Elijah. And the Lord tells him to go give a hard word to King Ahab. And verse 20, Elijah, think of the courage Elijah has to go to a king who just had a guy stoned to death so he could take his property. You don't think Elijah was frightened for his life a little bit? Verse 20, Ahab said to Elijah, have you found me, O my enemy? He answered, I have found you, because you have sold yourself to do what is evil in the sight of the Lord. And then Elijah goes on to say how I will bring disaster on you, I will consume you, and will cut off from Ahab every male, bond or free in Israel. And basically goes on to say how he and his wife and his family, they're all going to be dead. Yikes. Very scary. But God's judgment, God is not mocked. So often those in power abuse the law and abuse their power to enrich themselves, to get what they want. But God's word tells us, especially in this story of Naboth and Elijah and Ahab and Jezebel, that God is not mocked, and God's justice will come in this life or the next for those who abuse their power.